Good day, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the show. Today is December 4th, 2019, a Wednesday, and I'm glad to have you guys here. Now, I got a lot of information to cover in this show, so let's get started. Let's open up the charts right here. Bitcoin right now has been going sideways for a while. Down kind of low, going sideways below $8,000. And the way I see it is it's getting ready for breakout. I'm not sure which direction the breakout's going to go. And so I've been looking around on the internet, and, some of them are saying it's on the verge of a mammoth bull run as gold cross seems imminent. Some of the articles say 3 bearish indicators for Bitcoin this week, So I don't think that they really know which direction it's going to go either. But this article, Bitcoin all set to take off, I don't think they know which direction it's going to go either, but they can all see it's getting ready for breakout. This is kind of unanimous. We are all getting the feeling that it's getting ready for a breakout. Which direction? Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you guys it's going to go up or down because I don't know. But I got a lot of information to cover. First thing we're going to take a look at is Bitcoin itself. It's at 201.4 billion. The whole cryptocurrency industry. Bitcoin dominance is 67%. And we can see this sideways action's been going on for a long time now. Now, the world's central banks are preparing to release their own digital currencies. And there's momentum building. The European Central Bank envisions a direct digital currency use. They're optimistic for their own digital currencies. We see here today that some countries are already getting it. British Virgin Islands are going to have its own digital currency released by their own central bank. The French Central Bank to launch tests on its new digital currency. We can see a movement here. It's happening very quickly between the central banks. This one here, China is close to issuing their own cryptocurrency. Here's what to expect. China is preparing to launch a state-sponsored digital currency based on blockchain technology. What does this mean for the crypto world? So we see this movement. What bearing or impact is this going to have on the decentralized cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and all of the rest? And go down a list of 1,000 of them or more. What bearing or impact is this going to have on them? Well, you have to understand that for the last number of years, Bitcoin and its brethren have been running parallel to the current financial system. The equivalent of Bitcoin in the current financial system is the dollar and all of its brethren. The Japanese yen, the Chinese yuan, the French, all these different currencies. All of these currencies now that already exist within the current system are already digitalized. The dollar's already digital. There's a small fraction of dollars that are still in physical form. In other words, they're printed. They're printed money you can hold in your hand. But the vast majority of dollars is digital already. This transference into these new digital currencies is just making it a little bit higher tech. And also it enables the governments to get rid of cash. So that they can lower interest rates below the zero boundary, and you can't withdraw your money from the bank anymore in physical form, in other words, cash, that they can't see in the system. So this is where we're moving, and this is why they're moving so fast. They know that zero interest rates, or even worse, negative interest rate policy, NERP, is coming, and they have to get rid of cash. So they're being forced to move into these digital currencies and get rid of cash. They're doing it fast, too. What effect is this going to have on Bitcoin and the cryptocurrencies that already exist? Well, they've been running parallel all this time. Since 2009, since the inception of Bitcoin, they've been running parallel. I don't see it having much effect at all. I see it having almost no effect at all, except possibly a positive effect, if anything, because people are going to be more used to using digitalized currencies. If the dollar goes digital, if the yuan goes digital, if all these other currencies go digital, it's going to just enhance people's ability to use digital currencies. It's going to teach. It's going to give them the learning curve of how to use them. But it's not going to have much. I don't see it having much of an effect at all upon the decentralized digital currencies like Bitcoin and its brethren. I see them continuing to grow as an alternative system of finance alongside the fiat system of finance. And the fiat system of finance is going to start slowly losing value as they overprint. And they have to overprint in order to keep these asset bubbles inflated. So on one hand, they're forced to overprint. And even if they go digital, they'll still be forced to overprint. Whereas you're only going to find a hard limit on coins. In other words, one of the first things that a coin trader looks for is, what's the hard limit on this particular coin? You're not going to find that on any of the government centralized digital currencies that they are going to create. There's going to be no hard limit. They're not going to give themselves an upper hard limit. And this is so they can cheat the system. This is what they've done with the dollar and all the other fiat currencies. They've never put a hard limit on the dollar. They've never said, okay, we're only ever going to have $5 trillion. They don't want that there because they want to get richer and richer. They want to enrich themselves. Now, speaking about them enriching themselves, I'm going to turn the chart off right here. I'm going to talk for a minute about the rich. We've created a loop in the system now. We've created a division between one half of the system, which I'm going to call Wall Street, and the other half of the system that's called Main Street. It's a closed loop. It's like a looping system that feeds money into Wall Street while Main Street gets nothing. And what's happening is the poor are getting poorer and the rich are getting richer and richer and richer. I don't even think you're considered really rich now if you got $1 billion. This is how rich they're getting. You know, they're getting into multiple billions. Soon they're going to have billions of billions. Well, you know, I want to say something about all this is I believe that the rich are going to hit a certain point in the future where this is going to become a problem for them because they are the 1%. And then there's 99% out there who ultimately is going to have absolutely nothing. Right now, that 99%, they still got a few things. They can still feed themselves. Most of them still have a bed. A lot of them still have a car. The rich just keep getting fatter and fatter and richer. Now, I want to use some simple logic about this. The rich have got to the point now where in a million lifetimes they couldn't spend all of the money that they got. You can only wear one pair of pants. You know? But they keep going further and further into this thing, deeper and deeper into this thing. And what they don't realize is 99% of the people out there are being drained dry. There's been studies done. And they found that the people that are getting drained dry, the 99% of the people out there, at a certain point, they I'm just going to call it snap. They snap. And they've done studies, and they found that point in which the 99% snap is when they start to go hungry. Well, we're not. Some of them are going hungry now, but only a small percentage of them. But that point's coming. As these rich get richer and richer and richer, the point's going to start to come where the 99% start, their bellies start to ache and hurt because they got no food. So I think it would be logical, because these rich people, they just get richer and richer, and they couldn't spend their money. They couldn't spend 1/100th of their money in all of their lifetime. They couldn't spend 1/100th of their money. Wouldn't it be smart for the rich right now to all of them group together into a big auditorium or whatever, and decide to give half of everything that they have and distribute it amongst the 99% of the people and just call it insurance? And they'd still be able to keep half of their money. This is called sharing. Going all the way back in history to the caveman. The caveman would be sitting in his and they used to share have the cave wife, and the caveman. They had a cave. They actually lived in a cave, and this is back in the days of the dinosaurs, and so the caveman go ooga booga booga, and he'd head out there, and he'd get himself a dinosaur and drag it home. Well, he did his half of the work. His cave wife, she would cook it into dinner, just like the Flintstones. And then what would happen is they would share. He would get a big rack of ribs and he'd be chewing on, and he'd give her the other rack of ribs and she'd be chewing on. They'd both have a good time. Everybody would get fat and full and sit around the fire that evening and talk about the stories. Everybody had a good time. Everything was happy, right? That's called sharing, 50-50. It's a very simple concept, Well, just call it insurance for the rich people. 50-50 share. And that way we wouldn't have this wealth discrepancy anymore. And, everybody would be happy, But I don't think it's going to work out that way. I don't think they're going to buy that insurance. I don't think they're going to buy my idea. They're going to wait until it's too late, and they're going to be a lot richer than they are now. And the 99% of the people out there are just going to keep pushing them until they go over that threshold, That's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen. I know what's going to happen, I can already see it ahead of time because it's pointing in that direction. And you can see, if you look at the 99% out there, they're discontented. They're already discontented. They're grumbling. You can hear them. I can hear them out there. Millions of them. Millions. Billions of them grumbling. Now let me listen to the rich people. Oh, I can hear them out there. It's only a few of them. Just a handful of them. And they're laughing. They're laughing at the poor people. Oh, yeah. They think it's funny. Ah, look how rich we're getting. I hear them whispering, oh, we're getting so rich. Oh, we're getting so rich. And now the poor over here, oh, they're murmuring. They don't like it. I can see this is what's happening. It's growing in the world, What can I do about it? I can only offer advice to the rich people, But I know that they're not going to take my advice because they've got this absolute greed for more. It's almost like the old thing, They used to call it gold fever. You get greedy for gold, back in the old days of the gold rush and stuff, Anyway, listen, thank you guys for watching this show. Like and subscribe. Give me a thumbs up. And we'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.